Hi guys, welcome back to the DrCliffAuD vlog. This is vlog number 121, and today I want to talk to you guys about inflation. Now, I know that this is kind of like a subject that you're hearing everywhere right now, but I feel like it's pertinent at this point in time for me to talk about inflation and how it's impacting my clinic and how it's impacting just small business in general out there. But before I do, and before I get into my thoughts about it, if you could do me a huge favor and click the like button, it really helps out my channel because it gets these videos in front of a broader audience. And while you're at it, if you have not yet hit that subscribe button with notification bell, go ahead and do that as well, because that ensures that you never miss one of my newly released videos. And I release multiple new videos every single week, including this vlog that I release every Sunday, or at least try to release every Sunday. I think I missed maybe 2 over the past 2 years at this point. So let me go ahead and start with inflation is really high right now. I mean, we're at 8+%, and I don't want to come across as this being any kind of a political post. This is not political in any way, shape, or form. I'm just stating the facts. Inflation is high, and it is having an impact on small business, in particular my clinic, because the costs of everything are going up. And anytime the costs of these things are going up, we have 2 options inside of the clinic. We either have the option of making less money, right? So we kind of eat it and pay more money for these goods that we have to bring in the door, or we pass that on to our customers, to our patients. And I think it's probably going to be a little bit of both. You know, we're still a little bit early in it. As we kind of entered into this year, I want to say it was towards the end of last year, there was a lot of manufacturers were basically saying, hey, we've got to increase cost of goods for you because of inflation, and for them to actually get their products manufactured and developed and all that, it costs them more money. So what do? They pass at least a portion of it on to us. And to their credit, I feel like they probably could have asked to increase it more, but I think that they on their end were trying to curb the pain of the individuals who are dispensing their products to patients. So I have to give them kind of like a high five for that. I really appreciate it. And then on our end, we're kind of trying to do the same thing. So even though it's costing us more to get products into the door, we are trying to kind of eat some of that and not pass it along to our patients inside of our clinic. Now, I don't know how long we'll be able to do that for, because if inflation stays at 8%, growth each month over the course of this year and next year, and who knows how long it takes, us to get inflation under control, but it would be impossible for us to kind of absorb that over the course of the future if it continues to go on like it's going right now. And I will say this, I mean, cost of goods, when you look at from a hearing aid perspective of what we get from manufacturers, we're paying virtually the same, maybe a little bit higher now for cost of goods compared to cost of goods 20 years ago. And so when you look at it from that perspective, the cost of hearing aids has actually come down significantly in relation to inflation. So if you were to look over the course of history, and how much hearing aids used to cost 20 years ago, we should be at the point right now where hearing aids cost like $20,000. And they don't. The hearing aids have stayed relatively stable. Now, the other thing when it comes to inflation and economics and all that inside the world of hearing aids is the inelasticity of hearing aids. What I mean by that is that no matter what the economics are inside of at least the United States, as far as I'm aware of, people still have a demand for hearing. And so whether the cost of hearing aids goes up, whether the cost of hearing aids go down, individuals still want to hear, and they're willing to actually pursue treatment regardless. And of course, this is for individuals who value their hearing. There are some individuals out there that hearing aids could be free. We see this in other countries where adoption rates are like only 40%. And even though the hearing aids are basically free to them, they still don't want treatment, right? So from that perspective, adoption rates are pretty low. But for people who want hearing treatment, they are going to pay for it whether it's expensive or whether it's cheap. That's just the way that it is. So I don't think it's going to have any kind of negative impact, even if prices do go up, for people reducing purchasing hearing treatment. I just don't think that that'll happen based on what we know right now in the data. Now, there is something else going on inside of the clinic that I should share, which is, typically when inflation goes up, you're going to have rent increases. However, we have kind of insulated ourselves as a clinic from inflation when it comes down to the cost of rent, because we actually purchased the clinic location that we're in. So we set our own rent prices, right? Now we do have a mortgage that we have to pay off, but that mortgage is a fixed rate mortgage. So regardless of how high the interest rates go, we are kind of just going to pay the same amount when it comes to rent. Now, this goes for 10 years because after 10 years, the way that our loan is kind of set up is that after 10 years, it essentially is a balloon payment. And so we have to, unless we can just pay off the rest of the loan, we're going to have to get another loan at that time. And of course, if interest rates are higher at that time, we're going to have to take out another loan with higher interest rates. So we're protected for a period of time, and I'm hoping that interest rates come down 8 years from now when we're having to get another loan on the property. But I think that to some degree protects us right now from having to in another year pay an extra $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 from a rent perspective each month inside of the clinic. So that's some good news. Now the other thing here is that we are actually expanding, and I'm not talking about expanding to a new location. I'm talking about filling up the location that we currently have. So a lot of you know that I've had an extern over the course of the past year. She just graduated. Her name is Dr. Leslie Balderas. She is actually signing on to become a full-time audiologist at our clinic, so we're super excited to keep her around. And then we offered another audiologist to come in and be a full-time audiologist, and I believe that she accepted, and I believe that she starts on June 27th, which is my birthday. So great birthday present to have a new audiologist come in. And we also have a new extern starting, I believe, early June, so in a couple weeks from now. So that's really good news. But of course, when inflation goes up and potentially wages go up as well, so that will have an impact on the clinic in terms of overall profitability as well. And so, as time goes on, if inflation stays high, obviously there's going to be raises that have to be to some degree commensurate with the amount of inflation that occurs. Maybe not. I mean, over the course of the last 20 years, I feel like inflation has gone up and wages have stayed still, but that's really not the type of business owner that I want to be. Now, will it go up like 8% each year? There's no way. We would just give all our money away to an audiologist, and unless they were able to bring in enough business to justify that, we just couldn't do it. But that's just kind of how business works, right? But I think that between having 2 full-time audiologists join the staff, another extern, and we even hired a new office manager inside of the clinic within the past, I think, couple months. I forget how long that's been at this point. But there are some additional costs that we're incurring inside of the clinic that aren't necessarily related to inflation that are potentially going to have an impact on what we need to do pricing-wise inside of the clinic here in the future. Now, I have no clue what's going to happen with inflation in the future. Hopefully it comes down sooner rather than later. But really, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that I get to play this game of entrepreneurship. I mean, there's nothing more rewarding to me than having the responsibility of running a clinic and making it work, both from a treatment perspective as well as a financial perspective. Because let's face it, if we don't make money, we go out of business, and then nobody gets hearing treatment, all right? And I think that to some degree, we've set up the clinic in a way to where we are trying to provide excellent quality. And I think people are willing to pay for quality as long as it is quality, right? I mean, we cannot reduce the quality of our care in order to get more people in the door to curb the impact of inflation. I would rather increase our service costs a few percent each year and keep the quality high than keep the pricing the same and just have to get more people in the door to account for the difference, if that makes sense, right? I feel like I do not want to sacrifice quality no matter what happens. If it means that we have to be eventually the most expensive place in town, then that's what we're going to be. And if I can't do that, then I'm going to sell the clinic and get out of it, because I just, internally, I just could not justify cutting down the quality of care that we strive to provide inside of the clinic. And, I'll just leave it at that. I mean, you guys know me at this point. If you've been watching my vlogs over the course of the past, a year and a half, 2 years at this point, then so be it. But I just don't think that I could do it. But Anyway, inflation sucks, and inflation's going to be here probably for a little while. This is probably not the last time that you hear about me talking about and potentially even getting to the point of complaining about inflation. But we'll see what happens with the cost of all the things that we have to pay for inside of the clinic, and see if that starts impacting the way that we do pricing for services and for products alike. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, this economic rant video about inflation. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you might as well give it a thumbs down to tell me never to talk about inflation again. But as always, guys, I appreciate you sticking around this long if you did, and as always, I'll see you next week.